I told y'all I was making a couple more videos. If y'all follow me on my Facebook page, you know I was gonna come with the free game. I was just gonna clear up a couple things real fast before I continue on posting videos and things of that nature. Get a lot of rumors cleared up, a lot of why I was beefing with so many people at a time, and just clear this up real fast. So if you got a couple of minutes, I just break it down to you real fast. This will be the last video I ever address any of this stuff to, make any comments about anything of that nature. First and foremost, people wonder why I had so much issues with a guy named Chris. The reason why I had so much issues with a guy named Chris is because he called me on the phone one day a few years ago. I was like, yeah, you know, I want to come out and check your store out, I said, no problem. You know, he came out, blase, blase. We kicked it. We had a good time. Well, I thought we had a good time. You know, I shot him a deal on a couple items that he didn't have. We were talking about collaborating on a few things. Next thing you know, he went back home and just started talking shit about me. So I was like, wow, where'd that come from? You were just in my shop. You just rode in my Benz with me. You know, we were just chilling, chopping it up. You seemed like a very cool dude just trying to make a living. And I was trying to do the same thing, thinking we were going to be able to collaborate. Didn't happen like that. So after he started talking all that junk about me to other people online, and, you know, customers is always going to go wherever they want. No customer is ever your customer. You know, when you're doing business, say if you sell cars and another person sells cars. If this person wants to shop with you, that's your customer at that time. If that customer wants to go further and shop with somebody else, that's their customer at that time. You can never say that, oh, you stole my customer, blase, blase this, blase, blase that, because that's just not how it works. An individual has the right to spend their money wherever they want to. But if that person that's selling the car to the other person is talking bad about the last person you just shot with, and telling them, oh, I made that for them, I did this for them, and that's just completely lies. So I sent him a message and was like, you know, on a personal level, like, man, what's going on? You know, da 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 da. So I was like, you know, I'll just talk to you face to face when I get to Atlanta. So I gets to Atlanta, and I goes down to talk to him. Next thing you know, I get a call from the police. Hey, Mr. Murray. I'm like, yeah, who is this? This is the Atlanta Police Department. We would like to let you know that we have a warrant or some type of thing for your arrest or something like that. So I had to go down here and explain this whole situation about what just happened. I told the dude, plain and simple, like, dude, if you're going to talk shit about somebody, be prepared to say it to them in their face. You know, just don't go around just talking crazy about people that's trying to make a living. You know, I'm fresh out the streets. I knew nothing about this jury game when I first started. You know, I just took my money. I said, you know what, I'm getting out the streets. I don't want to live this life no more. It's not for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about that life no more. I was about that life to the fullest. You know, I got a resume long as a mug, but that don't mean nothing when you're a grown man and you're trying to feed your family. So I goes up there to the spot. You know, I talked to the police and everything. I had to show them proof of me and him on a conversation on the phone that I have recorded that I never posted. I never posted this conversation online. And he, you know what I'm saying, he was like, you know, I shouldn't have been hating on you, but this and that and this, that, the third. And, you know, he was like apologizing, but still talking slick at the same time. So I'm like, why is this dude still talking slick at the same time, but he's fake apologizing? That's not how we kick it. So I goes down there, I talk to the police, I show them everything and everything. They was like, well, you know, y'all two just stay away from each other. You know, and I was like, I have no issues with the man. Only thing I had an issue with this man was you trying to knock down my credibility as me being who I am, just a hustler, getting out the streets, trying to really do something. And yeah, I didn't know everything about the jury game. Of course I didn't. I learned by trial and error. You know, I learned how to deal with all this stuff, make my connects all by trial and error, man. I lost thousands of dollars. I lost, man, tons of jewelry, just not even understanding the game, not even knowing what I was getting myself into. So, long story short, you know, I felt that, you know, if you was man enough to tell all these people about this, that, the third, you felt so comfortable talking about another man just to make you, you know, you a bigger person or whatever. And yeah, I was wrong because I made the video, you know, like, who was this guy? You know, when I came up with the video years ago, like, who was this guy, Chris? Because I was like, this dude is telling people that I'm shopping with him. I'm his connect, and that's not the case. It was not the case at all. That was totally falsified information, you know. And then telling people he owned this one company that I was shopping with, and that I was sending money. And that was not the case at all. I was like, man, this dude is sideways. So you know, me being a guy, you know, I'm taking this as, oh, this dude wants something. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I pushed the envelope a little bit. Maybe I shouldn't have went as far as I went. Maybe I know I shouldn't have went as far as I went with the situation. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, you know, constantly saying things about him or whatever. But I was just angry at the time, and I felt like this day I never wanted to have a sit down to talk to me and really squash the issue like it's supposed to be squashed like men. You know what I'm saying? If you got an issue with somebody, like, you know, you just go to that person, you talk to them. You know, nowadays, I guess the internet world is set up where you can say something about somebody, y'all can be in the same vicinity, and then next thing you know, this person is tweeting about you, looking dead at you across the room, and not ever coming up to approach you. But then you go and look at your tweet or whatever. Then, you know, we're in that age right now. You know, I wasn't brought up like that. I was brought up, man, somebody got something to say about you, especially about your manhood or what you're doing. Man, you smash that right there on the site. So that was my major issue. And you know, person coming to me about told me about when I was talking about the issue with me and Big John. You know, me and Big John, we go back a long way, long before a lot of people even knew who Big John was. Man, me and him was cool. You know what I'm saying? Well, I thought we was cool. You know, and I thought that he was really gonna look out for your boy like he said he was. He didn't stick to his word. You know, not by me. He may stick to his word by other people and everything like that, but by me, it didn't work like that. You know, I spent good money with this cat. You know, because he the first person that showed me how the jury game goes a little bit, but you know, the game is to be sold, not told. So basically, he was selling me more game than I was getting for free. So, you know, you got to be watch out for people like that. You know, I'm not saying him in particular because, you know, he does good business. You know, he's been in the business for a long time. But I guess with a situation like me just coming off the streets or whatever, and just coming with my own cheese, no bank, you know, backing me up, no financial help. You know, my family's not rich. You know, we lived on all types of stuff, food stamps, all that stuff. You know, I came from that background. You know, we had to hustle 15 cents to make a dollar, and that was real, you know. But by the time you had to get that dollar, you hustled that 15 cent, probably flipped that mug about 3-4 times just to see a dollar. So real people that knows the struggle know what that is, you know. And me and him, we just stopped seeing eye to eye. He was telling me he was gonna do a couple things for me, and then things weren't coming through. You know, I told him I was gonna go get a store. He was like, "Oh yeah, go get the store, man. I'm gonna help you promote the mug." And the next thing you know, I'm spending money with him, man. This man's like shorting me on my goods, talking about he got me on the next rib, For too many promises that he couldn't keep. So I was like, you know what, man, I'm done with you, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, just F you. I don't even care. You know, and you know, I shouldn't have trusted that neither. You know, because like I said, people don't want to talk to you real when you're talking to them on the phone, but when you're away from them, then they want to sit there and throw jabs at you and say this, that, the third. And I was like, come on, man. Let's just be G's about this here. You know what I'm saying? But you can't look at a person doing business as street mentality, you know, because in the streets, you know, when you say you're going to do something or you say you're going to be about something, that's just what it is. You got to stick to your word. You know what I mean? If you don't stick to your word, folks going to be getting at you, you know. But when you're in a business world, you got to understand that people that do business, they all ain't gonna do the same business that you think they're supposed to do or conduct business the way that you want them to conduct business, because they can always say, man, it's just business. That's just how I roll. That's just how I do my business. So therefore, you know, I'll let that go. You know, and I told him, I was like, man, just get your ass out the little ass office. You know what I'm saying? And I shouldn't have said that, you know, but I was just angry at the time because, you know, I'm spending so much money with this man. You know, I felt like I helped him get to where he was at, and he just turned around and just shitted on me the whole time afterwards. So I just felt, you know, I felt a little hurt about that, you know. So I just expressed myself because I'm only human, you know. And other people were asking me. I'm just gonna address everything right now, and I'm done. After I address all this, I'm not talking about nothing no more. I'm just sticking strictly to the jury. Enjoy these videos and stuff like that. But right now, I'm just getting everything off my chest, and just letting everybody know that I'm beyond that. I had to take time out to just really understand what I had in front of me and what life really is about and this business is about. So people were asking me another question about what happened with you and Nick. Me and Nick, we just stopped seeing eye to eye. You know what I mean? The work ethic was there when work ethics was there when we first started. You know, and he decided to, you know, just like, man, I don't know, do his own thing and feel like, you know, he uh, he built enough information for me to want to go start his own thing. I ain't mad at that, you know what I'm saying? But the thing I was mad at with me and him is that he told me that his customers are his customers and my customers are my customers. And the customers that he was referring to was the customers that were calling the cell phone and the other phone line that I handed to him that came from my business. So I felt some type of way about that. I was like, wow, like this dude's actually going to sit there and say that these are his customers, and he told them to come shop with him, you know, da 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 da. I was going through some things. I wasn't going through nothing. You know, I was just going through a learning process in life. You know, when I left my first shop, I left there because them folks would not let me get to the front of the mall like I wanted to. There was spots open in the front of the mall. I could not get to the front. They was always blackballing me, letting somebody else come in the door, get to the front. And I was like, hold on, man, like this is not right. Like I'm coming here with good money just like these other folks, and they just wouldn't let me get there where I wanted to be, and that was in San Antonio. So, you know, me being an African American, you know, and that being more predominantly white Hispanic area, you know, they were looking out for their own kind, which I can respect because, you know, in the black community, we kind of do the same thing, you know. So I had no beef with that, but the only thing was I was looking at it as a business aspect, like I'm coming with money, you know what I'm saying? I'm coming to bring something to the table. I'm not coming here just to set up for a couple months and dip. I'm coming here for the long haul. So Nick was like, man, let's get this other shop over here at Wonderland that just opened up. And I'm like, all right, cool, we'll go over there, you know what I'm saying? That's when I was like, man, I'm going to head over there to the mall. So we head over there to the mall and everything, and then next thing you know, they weren't advertising the spot properly. You know, I think it was a bad choice to go over there, but I think it was a better choice for me not to go. I mean, not to, I mean, it was a better choice for me not to stay where I was at the other mall because I felt like they weren't letting me get to where I need to be. And location is everything. When you run the business, man, you know, you can be online all day. You know, you can be slinging so much stuff online. But what you really want is that face-to-face contact. You know what I'm saying? Especially me being in San Antonio, so far away from any major city. You know, it's not like I'm in LA or Houston or, you know, New York, Atlanta, you know, Chicago. You know, when you're far away, you know, your location is everything. You want to have the home team with you, you know. And when I was in Atlanta selling jewelry, I was slinging jewelry out of my car. You know, I was running up and meeting rappers and celebrities, and I was like, shoot, what's up? I got this. You know, where it's at? Man, let me pop the trunk. It's right there. So, yeah, I didn't have that interaction with people. So at the mall, I was feeling like I was going to be able to, you know, interact with more people and stuff like that and get another avenue going for myself, but they didn't promote the place properly. You know, the place was just like just standing there. They basically wanted you to bring in your own people and stuff like that. And if that was the case, I would have stayed where I was at. I was looking for foot traffic, not internet traffic, you know. And then I guess that, you know, Nick seen the whole situation. He was just like, you know, I don't want to be a part of this anymore, you know, da 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 da, you know. And I was like, all right, cool. Ain't no hard feelings, you know what I'm saying? Just return the phone, you know. And then I said, turn the phone, turn in your paperwork. You know, and the paperwork is the data that we keep with everybody's numbers on it, all the sales, addresses, and stuff like that. This man handed me a blank book. I'm like, damn, for real? You know what I'm saying? Handed me a phone, everything, every contact was deleted out of it, everything. So I was pretty pissed off about the situation. I was like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? That's how you want to kick it. Go on about your business, you know what I mean? And then the dude said, you know, my customers is my customers. So I said, you know, if you leave McDonald's and you go work at Burger King, so you trying to tell me that your customers at McDonald's, is still your customers at Burger King? Nah, that ain't how it go. You supposed to leave it like you came. You know, you made good money. I didn't short him on nothing. I gave him the game. And, you know, he just took the game that I gave him and turned it against me. But it's cool. I ain't got no hard feelings about that. Let that go. You know what I'm saying? I wish him the best. You know what I'm saying? He's doing his thing out there. You know, y'all can find him on Instagram. He has a shop at the same location that I left before I even after we broke up, you know what I'm saying, and went our separate ways. He got the shop over there, so it's not hard for y'all to find him if y'all want to still do business with him. No hard feelings, you know what I'm saying. I'm just addressing everything that happened, you know. And a quick list of other things People ask me, what happened, why you didn't stay at the other shop, and I was like, I can't stay nowhere where it's not flourishing, and I wasn't going to stay there. When I got to the shop, the mall, they were telling me they were going to do so many things for us, and they didn't do anything for us. Basically they just let us sit there and, be stagnant. And that's just not the way I roll. I roll where I have to be generating some type of income, where I'm at to pay for the bills that I'm accumulating in that building. The other shop, I was just taking all my internet money and just putting it into the shop. So it really wasn't no big deal, but at the same time, like I said before, you want that foot traffic. You want something that you're in to pay for itself, and you want to be where people really see you and you're flourishing as a name in the city, not just world. And then, everybody has their own opportunity to go where they want to go, but is it they're going to say that they're going to actually come here to this mall and they don't even know this mall's over here or anything like that without the advertisement and the help? No, they're not going to do it. So, excuse me, I've been having a little cold over a week. So I just decided just to cut that off. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna cut this shop off. I'm not going back to the other spot. And I tried some other locations, but I got the same thing. It's too many jewelry stores in here already. Da 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 da. And I'm like, oh man, here we go again. Getting blackballed to the door. So I was like, it's cool. I'll let it be what it is. So I said I'm gonna pack it up, and I left. And when I left, I packed it up. My wife, she had a chance to move to Japan. So I'm like, well, do I really want to stay here? Or do I want to go to Japan to be with my family? So I said, you know what? I want to go to Japan to be with my family. You know what I'm saying? If things work out for me over there, it's cool. If it don't, it's cool. But as long as I'm with my family, because I'm a family-orientated man. I got 2 kids. I got a 3-year-old and I got a 4-month-old. So without me coming over here, I wouldn't have been able to make my 4-month-old. So the decisions that I make, they all affect things that I do and the way I react to certain situations. But I'm just saying that in the past, I think I reacted a little bit too far about certain things. I may have not, but that's just me, coming straight from where I was coming from with no guidance, no nothing. I didn't have nobody, mentoring me, trying to, steer me to do what they felt was right or give me another avenue to look at. I was just looking at things through my two eyeballs, basically. And my 2 eyeballs was just on that strain mentality I had when I was in the streets, man. Dude, mess with you, man. You go out there and you smash them. But then in the business world, you got to let all that go, man. You got to really let it go. You can't be aggressive towards people. You know what I'm saying? And even if you think you're not being aggressive, you got to sit back and really think, am I really being aggressive? Because they'll look at it like, oh man, he's a threat. And then when somebody looks at you as a threat and they feel like you're gonna harm them or do something to them, they'll do anything in their power to smash you and take you out on some, not even by themselves. They'll go get the law. They'll go start calling damn companies up and blackballing you. They'll go damn say, oh, this dude's trademark infringing, all types of stuff, man. You will not understand the things that you got to go through when people really feel that you are in competition with them. When I'm not in competition with nobody, I'm in competition with myself. And another thing I want to tell folks, if you get into business with somebody that has the same amount of money or not more than you do. Don't get into business with somebody when you coming in with $100,000, this person only got $5,000. What's gonna happen with that situation? That person is not gonna work as hard as you when you got way more invested into a situation than they got invested into a situation. All they're gonna want is their money back and ride the wave that you set forth, because they know your money's longer. And you gonna take care of them and everything like that. Always be careful of shiesty individuals, people that want to try to trick you out your stuff. Like I've had credit card scams pulled on me. I've had PayPal scams pulled on me. Had PayPal call me like, why did you take this transaction? Well, it was verified. You said on the computer, it looked verified. Oh no, this person used somebody else's account. Da 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 da. You got to keep up with all your paperwork, man. You got to keep up with all your records. So when these folks come at you and they try to shut you down from the business standpoint of view, I'm not talking about the people that don't like you. I'm just talking about companies now, like credit card companies, what's the thing, chargebacks. They want their percentage of the money. you gotta come out of pocket for that. You know, that's your loss. You know, you'll lose some jury and you lose your money. You know, so keep all your records, keep all your documents, man. Stay with people that really care about your situation. You know, sometimes when you in business with somebody, just fall back from the business and then see how they operate the business. And if they ain't operating the business the same way you operate in the business, even though they got a little something invested, man, buy that person back out, man, and kick them out the door. You know, because right now it's no time to play games when you're trying to run a business and you're trying to get prosperous and you ain't trying to go back to where you came from. You know, because the streets ain't got nothing for nobody. You know, like yeah, I was out there doing my thing. But like I told you, I'm not trying to stay out there. It ain't nothing out there in the streets, man. Ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing but death, jail, getting hooked on drugs, partying all the time, losing money, robberies, murders. You know, so it's like you want to live that lifestyle. You know, no, that ain't what you want. You know, what you want is something that's gonna be able to feed your family a legitimate way. And it may not be making as much as you want to be making out there in the streets, but it's going to feed your family. And you're going to be there for your family every single day. Watch them kids wake up, take them kids to school, get them kids dressed. That's what it's about, you know. I think this is too much game right now. But like I say, I ain't saying no more about no situations. That's everything right there in a nutshell. And that's all the troubles I've ever had right now to this point in my life where I felt that I had to address them because people were asking questions about them, and I didn't want to just keep answering the same old questions again. I just brought it to y'all in the real and just explained myself like I was supposed to. You know, I think if I talked about somebody, I have to just explain myself behind that situation. You know, I just can't sit there and be like, well, I said this about that person, but never gave an explanation. You know, so those were my explanations. These are true conversations. These are true facts. You can ask them people. They should tell you the same thing. But, you know, some people, they just won't man up to what they did and what's been said. So, with all that being said, I know I've been talking a long time. Like, y'all actually here with me. But that's just it, man. And enjoy this jewelry right now. When I had this picture on, this is 475 grams, you know, almost a half a kilo chain, you know, Cuban link, super serious. But here y'all go. I'm back at it. I ain't never stopped, by the way. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook. You'll see I've been posting on those. I just had to wait till I really got myself together to understand how social media works and how everything works. And one more thing. If you say anything about my jewelry, anything, oh, that's fake. Oh, that's some bullshit. Oh, that's, man, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm not responding. Before, I used to be quick. Like, man, dude, like, I'm just trying to make a living. Now, I ain't even responding. I'm not even giving nobody the time of day. I'm not even going to sit there and tongue wrestle with nobody I ain't never seen before, don't know nothing about me, and don't understand what I'm trying to do. Something positive, and stay the hell out them folks' face. And by them folks, I mean them police face, FBI face, IRS face. So, go ahead, keep your comments going, but I'm not responding to now one of them. You know, I got a comment one time, dude was like, you ain't no celebrity, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, you just fell off. I'm like, whoa. Hey, do you have access to my bank account? Do you not know, see them numbers in that thing? Ain't nobody never fell off. I just fell back to learn more, to gain more, to understand more, and then be able to come out and do what I need to do to further myself, you know? Yeah, I've dug myself in a hole a couple times, but I ain't finna keep doing it continuously. No, sir. That's not how it's gonna work. Right now, we're gonna keep it focused on this jewelry. Man, you want this Cuban link chain? Hit me up 404-503-1583, or you can email me at murraysdiamonds@yahoo.com, and I will also have this thing posted up somewhere else, probably on Instagram. I probably just posted this a minute ago on Instagram before I made this. So hit me on the Instagram, Murray's Diamonds, and Facebook, Murray's Diamonds. You know, I'm always like chit-chatting. This is my free game video for, I should say 2015, man. That was all free game right there, man. You could take it how you want to take it, but that's just real life situations, and that's what really goes on behind the scenes that nobody sees, that think that somebody is out here trying to do something to somebody. Nah, man, I'm just living and learning. And if you ain't learning, you ain't living. And if you ain't living, you ain't gonna make it.